guys, so today I wanted to come and make a video about something that is really important to me, and that is my breastfeeding story. When I was starting out breastfeeding, it was such a struggle, and I looked all over the internet trying to find someone like me and praying that they would be like me, Googling everything, and I found very little people. I did find some people, thank God for those people, because they really got me through such a tough time, but I wished that I could have either been normal, and that's normal, or I could have found someone that had my identical situation, which there are totally people out there, I know that, but I just wanted to share because this was a super important time for me, it was a very big struggle for me and for Maverick, and it's something that has been kind of laid on my heart to share for those of you out there who might be going through the same thing that I went through. So for me, I already knew breastfeeding was going to be a struggle going into it because I have inverted nipples, and there, I said it, it's so weird, it's so uncomfortable sometimes, but it's my situation. So I have always had inverted nipples, and to me it was kind of something that as a kid I thought was weird, and then as you grow up it becomes your norm, and to me I embraced it. I really liked not having regular nipples and not having to worry about your nipples showing in anything, and it just became something that it's my normal. And then when I got pregnant is when it clicked, and I was like, oh no, I want to breastfeed, but I don't know if it's gonna work. So I already knew going in that it was going to be a big struggle, but I talked to all my doctors and a lot of people, Googled, and everyone said it's breastfeeding, not nipple feeding, so you can do it. And I just thought, okay, I'm gonna try it. I tried to go in positive, but in the back of my mind I was very scared. I was scared I was gonna fail. I was scared it was gonna be really hard or impossible. So kind of that was my situation, is I knew going in beforehand that breastfeeding was gonna be even harder. And don't get me wrong, breastfeeding is hard for everyone. Breastfeeding is a struggle. Breastfeeding isn't easy. Breastfeeding is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, and I know there's other women out there who would say the same thing. It is not for someone who isn't committed and dedicated to it. So just keep that in mind. If you're a soon-to-be mom who wants to breastfeed, you really have to make your mind up. And it's not only a physical thing, it is emotional, it is mental, it is draining physically, it's exhausting. It's the hardest job, but at the same time the most rewarding job. So I really wanted to try, even though I knew it was going to be difficult. My mind was, I'll try, and if it doesn't work, oh well, I'll just pump and give him a bottle. If you don't know, I had my son Maverick November 10th, 2016, so he is approaching 8 months, and he is my first baby boy. And so breastfeeding was unknown territory for me. My mom thankfully breastfed me and my sisters, so I had someone in my corner that I knew would be with me to help me through it, but it all falls on you, so no one can do it for you. That's scary. Fast forward to Maverick being born, and ended up I had to have an emergency C-section, so I feel like that kind of threw our situation off. I got to do skin to skin, but I didn't get to try breastfeeding with Maverick until over 5 hours after he was born. The nurse in the recovery room really wasn't trained to show me how to breastfeed with inverted nipples, so she told me wait till you get to your room and we'll have somebody come to you. Well, by the time I get to my room, my family is coming in, hours pass, and that's when the nurse was going to show me how to breastfeed. So if I could go back in time, I would make sure that we tried and really tried hard in the first few moments that we got together. So someone just woke up their nap, so I figured he could join us for a few minutes. Hey. Hi. Hey. 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 Can you are you handsome? Hey, are you handsome? He sees himself, he's getting excited. Hey. 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 Oh, you wink for the camera. You're so cute. Okay, sorry. The lighting has probably changed. It's been a little bit, but I had to take care of Maverick in between. Okay, so what I was saying was, if I could go back in time, I would really try to make sure that we did not only skin to skin, but tried to breastfeed initially. But the nurses could only do so much, and I really needed a lactation specialist, and there was no lactation specialist available until 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I was actually told by the nurse that if you just had your baby, you go at the bottom of the list to see a lactation specialist, and the people that are their top priority or the people that are leaving the hospital that day to go home with their baby. So they want to check in with those people and make sure that everything is going the way it should go, so that they don't have any questions about it when they go home. So, you know, I understand that, but at the same time, I felt like there should really be more than one in this hospital who can, you know, help me in a timely manner, because breastfeeding is supply and demand, and if you aren't breastfeeding, your supply is going to drop. And yes, it was like in the very beginning, and I know I didn't have a whole lot, but I feel like those were the most crucial moments, and they just kind of swept everything under the rug. But then they want to turn around at the end when you're about to leave and come see you every 5 minutes to make sure that your baby is eating, and then when your baby's not eating, that because they've waited all this time and they have to give your baby a bottle, they want to make you feel terrible because your baby won't latch on. So anyways, I ended up seeing a lactation specialist the next day, and she did try to get Maverick to latch just on the breast, and she couldn't get him to. So then for me, she suggested the nipple shield, and she brought me a nipple shield. It was the Medela nipple shield, which I like Medela nipple shields. That's what I actually prefer, but this one not so much. It was the original, or like the regular shield, so the actual piece is a circle, and it was too big, and she told me that was the smallest size she could give me. It was a medium, and it was too big for my nipple. It kept falling off. I couldn't get it to actually suck my nipple or suction to my nipple into the breast, and Maverick wouldn't latch. She couldn't get him to latch with it, so she basically just told me to try for the rest of the day, that it's not a big deal that if to give him a bottle, it doesn't mean that he won't ever latch onto the breast. And that was basically it. We tried for the rest of the time that I was in the hospital, and I actually just tried pumping, and I wasn't getting a lot pumping either. I was getting enough in the morning to cup feed him all of the days that I was in the hospital, but by the afternoon and the evening I was getting drops. So they did give him a bottle, which was fine. We made it work, but I could never figure out how to use the shield in the hospital after that, and I was getting very frustrated and a little discouraged. But I came home and I thought, well, maybe I just need to be in my home and try. And we tried so many things. Of course, I went to the internet to look and see if there's anyone out there like me who had experienced the same things. And I did find, well, actually my mom found this woman who had inverted nipples, and she used a syringe to pull her nipple out before she breastfed, and not only pull it out in order to get the baby to latch onto it, but to regrow or to stimulate nipple tissue growth so that your nipples wouldn't be inverted anymore. And that's not the case for me, but I did try it. We tried to find exactly like what she had, and no, my mom went everywhere looking, all pharmacies, hospital, ER, like she called everyone she knew, trying to find what this lady had, because she had 2 syringes, but she had like a middle attachment to them, so they would attach together by opposite ends, and nowhere could we find that. So what we ended up having to do was take a regular syringe and then take another syringe, just this part, not the actual handle, and we cut this piece right here off of this one. So now we had like a hole, and then we could fit it onto there. And this top part would attach to the nipple, and you would actually pull the syringe and pull the nipple out. It was the most painful. I cringe at the thought because it was very, very painful, but it was effective in the sense that it got my nipple pulled out enough that actually we could get a nipple shield to attach on. Now also we had to order a new shield, and the one that ended up working for me better than what she had at the hospital was this Medela shield. So this is the 16 millimeter. It's actually the smallest. I think it's extra small, but this is what I needed. This is small enough to actually work for me. And as you can see, you just kind of pop it down, place it on the nipple, and then pull it out, and the nipple comes out into this piece right here. I liked this one because it's cut out, so the baby's nose isn't against the plastic and it's against your breast. But this just worked a lot better, and to be honest, this is what we still use to this day. Maverick just won't latch without it all the time. He can latch, he has done it, and he's only eaten for like probably a minute at a time, but he knows how to do it. I just can't get him to do it consistently, especially on my left side, which is more of a flat, or no, it's completely inverted. My right side is more of a flat nipple, so it comes out, it protrudes a little more, and he can get more of it in his mouth, but I just can't get him to latch yet. And it's okay. My mentality is I would rather him be breastfeeding some way, somehow, than not at all. So I love this. I have tons of these. This is my case that I keep them in. I actually keep this in my diaper bag and I don't take it out, and then I have a bunch more at my house, so you just wash them after every use. I feel like this has helped me not get raw nipples, because this also will help you if you do have like cracked or bleeding nipples, or if it's just really painful to breastfeed. Obviously, if you have inverted nipples, the main reason you're using it is to pull your nipple out. But I think this has kept me from getting a lot of, I need to like knock on wood, but it's from getting like thrush or mastitis. I haven't had anything of that nature. So I don't know. It does make breastfeeding in public very difficult though, so just keep that in mind. To be honest, I had such a hard time sometimes because Maverick doesn't like to have his face covered or be covered when he's breastfeeding in public. So I just ended up pumping and reserving the pumped milk for when we were out, and then anytime we were in the car, like before we would go somewhere, I would put this on and feed him, and then while we were out I would use the bottle, and then when we got back in the car I would breastfeed him again. But he just would not let me cover him up very often, and it's so complicated to put the shield on and keep it on and have a squirmy baby under a cover. I do have a cover that I like though, and I got it off of Amazon, but my battery's gonna die. It just looks like this, so slips over your head like that. And I used it more so for the car seat cover because it doubles as a car seat cover and a shopping cart cover type of thing. So the pump that I used when I got home, in the hospital they had the Medela hospital grade one. At home I just have this one, the Medela pump-in style. And one thing that helped me was, it's funny because with the nipple shield I actually needed the smaller size nipple shield, but for my pump, because I have larger breasts and smaller nipples, the normal size flange that came with my pump was not working for me. Milk would just get everywhere. I felt like it just wasn't sucking enough, so I ended up switching to the extra large Medela 30mm flange, and that worked a lot better for me. So keep that in mind. If you have inverted nipples and small breasts, this would probably work for you, because the size is fine for the nipple, but it just didn't work for me because of my breast size. So try the large or the extra large. I think this is that one. This is the breastfeeding pillow that I prefer. It is the My Breast Friend. I don't know if you can see it, but the reason I prefer it is because it attaches behind you, so you just put it on you and then click it like that and it stays in place. It has this pocket here for you to store your stuff in, so I would actually store my shields in here and like my phone. And then it has like this nice little support piece right there and right there. But totally worth every penny, because when you're having such a hard time breastfeeding, you have to be in the perfect position or you'll lose your latch. Having a million pillows all over is annoying. That kept him in place and the pillow in place, and it saved the day. If you're pumping and or not pumping, if you're just breastfeeding and you're trying to up your milk supply, one of my favorite products, I've tried a bunch of different ones, but this is just the one I want to touch base on because it's my go-to. It's the Upspring Milk Flow Fenugreek Plus Bless Thistle breastfeeding supplement. I get the chocolate one. You can get this at Target now. I was originally getting it off Amazon, but this is perfect for pumping if you're trying to up your supply, and it's just a really tasty way to get in your fenugreek, and it worked for me. It says that you can have up to 3 packets a day, so I usually do at least 1 or 2. Like I said, we're still in this place where we're not 100% there, so Maverick still won't always latch without the nipple shield, but like I said before, I feel like him breastfeeding one way is better than not at all, in my opinion, no matter what our pediatrician or anyone says. And just, if you're in that situation, then keep that in mind and listen to other people's advice and recommendations, but do what you think is best for you and your baby, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. And as long as your baby is getting enough milk and healthy and growing, you can't really ask for anything else. Alright guys, well that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed my little story time, and if you have any questions or recommendations, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.